I'm going to be addressing a couple of questions that I've had with regards to cards and with regards to the setup as you see it here. I'll get into the setup at the end of the video, but what I'm going to talk about right now is Night Goblin Shaman has asked me a couple of questions. I guess he's getting into this game with his son, but finds, like most people, that the text on the cards is not the clearest. Now, as you play the game, you get used to it and you understand it, and etc., etc. And sometimes, if you're only playing for fun, you kind of just interpret the card the way that you want to interpret the card. Obviously, in tournaments, you can't do that, but for fun, if you're playing with your son, do that. Question number one is, and it's more of I guess it's a question, what websites can I go to actually look up the cards, see what they're about, and things like that, and maybe clearly define what the cards do. I don't know any websites that will actually clearly define what each individual card would do. They're just going to reiterate what it says on the card. Now, if you have the opportunity to download the rules, which you can do, everyone can do this, they can download the rules. Just Google search for WoW TCG, what is it called? Rules 5.0 or something. Comprehensive Rules 5.0. I think that's the last one that they've made. It's about 72 pages long. Do not get overwhelmed by it. There's a lot of rules in there, but they're very simple. If you have any questions with regards to those rules, let me know. I'm not an expert, but I can probably help you out with some of them. To further go on, you can also go to WoW TCG DB, and that's a database of all of the cards. I don't know how current that website is, but you can deck build on that website, and you can test your cards out. It does draws for you to find out what your cards are going to be. There's another one, WoW TCG Vault. Allows you to do basically the same thing. Research the cards. It goes a step up. I think it also tells you the value of the cards, and once you build a deck, it'll tell you the value of the deck if you were to buy the cards or sell the cards, etc. How much would it cost you to make that deck if you were to cherry pick various singles sites and want to build that deck for yourself. There's also forums out there. I don't know what they are, but if you go along the same lines, Google WoW TCG forums. There's one big one. I don't know what it's called offhand, but you just go to any one of those, and hopefully more than enough people will be friendly enough to help you out. Moving on, you do have a couple of questions with regards to the cards, and I'm going to try and address those questions. I apologize in advance, guys, if this is going to be a lengthy video, but we're going to move on. I just want to get them to answer these questions. There is a card that is called, it's an ally dwarf. The text on it says, when he enters play, he deals 1 arcane damage to target hero or ally. What is arcane damage? Arcane damage basically is a type of damage that your character, or your ally, or your hero can do. It's identified in the lower left corner, right there. This one is not arcane damage. This is, I believe, frost damage. And where this type of damage, these types of damage come into play, is if you were to play a following card or a pre-card that would say something along the lines of, if your ally attacked your opponent and dealt 2 arcane damage this turn, this card has +3 attack. So for example, if this has frost, let me find another ally here. I don't have one. Let's just pretend that that's an ally. If this card dealt 2 frost damage to this card, and I wanted to lay this card down afterwards, this card might read, if your ally dealt 2 frost damage to your opponent, this card here would deal +3 attack. So something along those lines. I hope that makes sense to you. Just replace the frost damage with the arcane damage. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. Can you have multiples of these cards in play? The card itself I'm not familiar with, but the best way to check out to see if you can have multiples of these cards in play is if you were to look, and I'm going to quickly look through this deck. Okay. Well, oh no. Sorry, I'm not prepared here. If you were to look in your deck, and this is not the right card, but I'm going to show it anyway. If you were to look in your deck at your card, on this light bar here, wow, bad lighting. Okay, this says pet 1. This basically means I can only have one pet in play at a time. What you should do is look here to see if it says unique. I believe it's unique. It means you can only have one in play at a time, but you can have 4 in your deck. If you happen to put a second one in play, you have to remove the first one that's already in play. Secondly, it could say unlimited. Unlimited basically means you can have any number of these cards in your deck and any number of these cards in play. Thirdly, if it says nothing in this space here, then what that means is you can have a maximum of 4 in your deck and 4 in your hand. Sorry, not 4 in your deck and 4 in play. If you have more than, that's basically it. The rule of 4 is what they call it. So that takes care of that question. Hope that kind of clears things up. You have another one that says your Gurvan, which is an ally Draenei hunter. The text reads, long range. When this ally attacks, defenders deal no damage to it. What does the term long range mean? Well, picture this. Long range would be something like a sniper sitting on a hill picking off people. The sniper, whoever they're trying to pick off, is not going to have the opportunity to retaliate. So the opponent in this case will not have the opportunity to attack you back. That's basically what the term long range means. It means the attacker gets to do damage to the opponent, but the opponent does not get to deal damage back to the attacker. That's basically what it means here. What does the term long range mean? And I'm reading the card correctly. Does it mean that this ally attacks the opponent? No, it does not attack the opponent. It attacks the card that you specify it's going to attack. It can attack an ally or it can attack the hero. But the hero or the ally that it is attacking does not have the opportunity to retaliate with what they call the defender attack. Okay? Pithran Mithril an ally dwarf hunter. This card has the text elusive. This ally can't be attacked. Long range. It also has long range. When this ally, well, we've discussed long range, so we don't have to go in that again. What does elusive mean, and how can an opponent attack this card? Elusive basically means you cannot attack that card with a melee attack or a standard attack. Okay, but you can remove. For example, this card here has. If I can see, my camera just went all screwy on me. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it has, wow, did that all go messed up? It has elusive on it. You're going to have to trust me. What basically elusive means is you cannot attack a card that has elusive on it, but you still can get rid of a card. You cannot do a standard melee attack to a card that has elusive on it, but you can attack it with abilities and you can target it. Now, if you have I'm trying to find a card that would say something. Oh, here we go. Here's a card, an ability. Now this is a rogue card, but you still get the point. Okay, it's a rogue card. If the rogue player was to put this card into play, and your opponent was playing this card, and during its turn it happened to have been exhausted, well, your opponent can now play this card, and it can destroy this card that's in play as long as it's exhausted. So what we're going to do is we're going to destroy the target exhausted ally. And the key word there is target. Okay? So you cannot come outright and melee attack this card, but you can target it. And you can use such as long range or something to that. I think long range. I have to double check on that. Or you can use mostly abilities to get rid of cards like that. The next question in line here. Oh, actually, I think that answers all of your questions. So, I'm going to do a quick changeroo here and show you the rig up of what I do and how I do it. There we go. So, small break. All right. This is the rig up that I have. Let's see if I can pan back here. Obviously, I am doing this on my laptop. So what we have here is basically the cheapy ghetto, most cheap way that you can actually, if my camera will focus, actually that you can do this. I've just taken 2 pieces of cardboard tubing, cut them to whatever length that you want to do them with, find a way of attaching them. This is probably the best way and most ghetto way and cheapest way of attaching them to create sort of like a boom, because I didn't like the tripod. The tripod actually got in the way of filming. And find some way of weighting it down. I use this big freezer cup thingy, and with a couple of elastic bands. This probably took all of maybe 5 or 10 minutes to whip together. I have a clip on the end. Now the camera that I'm using is actually a LifeCam Cinema. I can't show you a picture of it because I'm using it right now, but it has a little bendy thing on it. It's a webcam. It has a little bendy thing on it that this will sit inside this clip, and it will suspend like that. Now the trick to doing, well, not really a trick, but an advantage of doing it this way is most people's videos when they do their cameras, the cameras are like this. And I personally find that quite annoying because I am actually sitting on that side of the table. So everything you see is upside down. So I flip the camera over and I suspend it from this clip so it looks like your point of view and my point of view versus reversed, which is annoying to me. The trick is actually getting the right height so you don't get all this clutter and crap in the way, and make sure that your background is relatively clean. I think I'm going to keep using this black. It's also, although it's nice to see the pads or the playmats that I have, I guess, the black pad is less distracting and is better on camera, I think. You guys let me know how you feel about that. And that's basically it. I apologize for not putting any videos out in the last little while, but I'm really trying to learn how to play that. I don't have, that's all the miniatures I have actually for D&D. I want to collect it. They stopped making the D&D miniatures, so they're really not very easy to get for me. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of, I wouldn't say I'm into it right now, but I'm trying to learn how to play that game, and I really love the genre of it. Go ahead, all you haters out there that are going to say 4th edition sucks, by all means, put your comments down below. I know it sucks to some people. I'm just getting into it now. I have nothing to compare it to, and this is what I've got to work with. But so far from what I've read, I love it. It looks like a ton of fun. That's it, guys. If you have any more questions for me, I'll give you a complete overall of what this kind of looks like. Now, I normally do this at the kitchen at the other table there, but I'm doing it in here, so apologize for the echo as well. Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and this video is hell of a glitchy. Wow. Later, guys.